My beloved child, tonight the air around you carries a truth so heavy that even destiny hesitated before placing it in your hands, and yet it whispers your name as if you were the only soul strong enough to hear it. There is someone in your life whose smile feels warm, whose presence feels familiar, whose intentions seem gentle, but beneath their soft eyes hides a plan they thought you would never see. They dream of marrying you, claiming you, standing beside you as though love alone is what brought them close, but behind that dream sits a hidden motive they have guarded with locked lips and trembling guilt. They want your heart, yes, but they also want something far more precious, something they believe you will give without question, something they have already imagined taking from you long before you ever knew the truth. And as you listen now, the ground under your feet shifts, because deep inside you always felt a strange tension around them, a pull that was equal parts sweetness and danger, familiarity and unease, devotion and calculation. But stay with me, because what you are about to hear will not only explain the strange look you once caught in their eyes. It will unravel every moment that felt slightly off, every sentence they left half-finished, every long pause they hid behind a smile as though hoping you wouldn't notice. This person, the one who claims to adore you, never approached you by accident. They watched you long before they spoke to you. They studied the way you trust, the way you forgive, the way your heart opens like a doorway without locks, and they thought they could walk right through it as if it belonged to them. Marriage wasn't just a fantasy to them, it was their perfect shortcut, their guaranteed path into your life so deeply that you wouldn't have the strength to push them away once you finally discovered what they were really after. They wanted your future, yes, but they also wanted your fortune, your foundation, your freedom. Not the kind of fortune written as money alone, but the fortune that comes with your name, your blessings, your connections, your destiny. They saw you as the bridge they needed to cross into a life they never earned, and they believed that if they wrapped it in the language of love, you would never see the difference. Yet something inside them shifted the closer they got to you, because your soul does not operate like the world they are used to. The purity of your intentions disarmed them, your kindness softened them, your loyalty weakened the selfishness they spent years building like armor. They came with a plan, but they stayed with a heartbeat they didn't expect to develop. That is why their emotions feel confusing, why they hover between genuine affection and silent fear, why they keep reaching out and pulling away as though they are fighting themselves every time they look at you. They want to marry you because loving you became real, deeper than they could understand, but they also want to take your foundation because they still haven't let go of the parts of themselves that are rooted in survival, ambition, desperation, and envy. They stand between two versions of themselves, one that wants to love you honestly, and one that wants to use you silently, and the war inside them is rising so loudly now that even the universe can hear it. You felt that conflict long before anyone spoke it aloud. There were moments where they admired you too much, moments where their compliments felt heavy, moments where their whispers sounded rehearsed, as if they were trying to convince you of something rather than simply express how they felt. You noticed the way they asked about your life not through curiosity but calculation, the way they watched your reactions when finances were mentioned, the way their shoulders stiffened when someone praised your success or your growth more than theirs. They once told a friend they were lucky to have met you, but you didn't hear the part that followed. The part where they said being with you would solve everything for them, that you were the answer to a chapter of their life they couldn't fix alone. And destiny, in its strange fairness, is revealing that unspoken truth now, not to frighten you but to prepare you, to protect you, to sharpen your vision so you don't walk into a commitment blindfolded by emotion. But even now, even after everything, they are standing in silence hoping you never learn this truth. They are terrified that one day you will look at them with the clarity they've been avoiding, that you will notice the slight tremble in their voice when future plans are mentioned, that you will see the shadow of intention behind their promises. They fear the moment you realize they didn't fall in love with you the way you fell in love with them. You fell because your soul recognized theirs, but they fell because their life recognized yours. And yet, something miraculous is happening within them. Your presence is forcing them to confront the person they've been and the person they want to become. They stand at a crossroads, one path where they confess everything and choose honesty over advantage, and another where they continue their silent plan, hoping fate sides with their desire instead of their truth. They want to marry you, yes, and they want your foundation, yes. But what they didn't expect is that you would become the one person capable of changing their entire destiny simply by existing in their life. My beloved child, before you hear what comes next, breathe slowly, because the truth approaching you now walks with a weight that can change the direction of your entire story. The person who wants to marry you did not just enter your life with coincidence or charm. They entered with intention sharpened like a hidden blade wrapped inside velvet words. They have been planning a future with you, yes, but not purely out of love. They believed that standing beside you would elevate them into a world they could never reach on their own. Yet the irony is breathtaking. The closer they got to you, the more their original motive cracked under the warmth of the connection they never expected to feel. They wanted to take from you, but they accidentally began giving parts of themselves they had sworn to protect. Their heart is betraying their plan, and that is why their soul feels restless every time they look at you. Stay with me, because what I say now must reach you without distraction. This person has rehearsed the future in their mind, imagining your home, your life, your shared identity, but woven underneath their fantasies is a strand of fear that you will one day see the truth they have never dared to speak. They depend on your trust more than you realize. They depend on your belief in them as if your acceptance were oxygen. They fear losing you not only emotionally, but practically, because losing you means losing the future they built in secret. That is why their smiles sometimes feel too fast, why their promises sometimes sound too polished, why their affection sometimes trembles as though holding a secret too heavy to hide. They are not only in love with you. They are in love with the life you can give them, the stability you represent, the foundation you built with your own strength. They see your future as a doorway they want to step through even if their honesty isn't fully intact. But listen carefully, because destiny is shifting the energy around them. Your presence is forcing them to confront a truth they never wanted to face. They cannot take what they want from you and still claim to love you wholly. They cannot build a marriage on half-truths and expect it to survive the storms fate inevitably sends. They cannot hold your hand while hiding the very intention that led them to your doorstep. And somewhere deep inside, they know this. Their guilt has begun speaking louder than their desire. Their conscience has begun waking up in the middle of the night. Their heart has started choosing you over the plan they once believed was necessary for their survival. That is why they hesitate whenever the conversation turns serious. That is why they look away when you ask simple questions. That is why their affection feels both genuine and guarded. They are caught between loving you and fearing the consequences of their own hidden motive. Now hear this with clarity. This person does not want to lose you. That fear is greater than their ambition. Their soul trembles at the thought of you walking away, not only because of what you represent in their future, but because you are the only person who has ever seen them beyond their mistakes. They have never felt a connection like this. They have never been looked at the way you look at them. They have never experienced acceptance so deep that it felt like healing. And that is why they are slowly dropping the pieces of their old plan, even if they haven't confessed it aloud. They want to be worthy of you, but they are still learning how. They want to love you honestly, but they are still battling the shadows they carried from their past. They want to walk into a future with you, but they fear whether the truth will destroy everything before it even begins. And now, for the first time, they are standing in a moment where a choice must be made. Not tomorrow, not years from now, now. They must decide whether they will speak the truth and risk losing you, or hide it and risk losing themselves. And as they stand at this crossroads, the universe places a quiet message in your path: stay aware, stay calm, stay aligned. More eyes are on this connection than you realize. More forces are shaping the outcome than either of you can see. Your intuition has been preparing for this moment long before the truth arrived. And as this story moves forward, your presence, your strength, your light, is what will determine whether this person steps toward honesty or falls deeper into the echo of their old intentions. My beloved child, as we step deeper into this truth, you must understand that the person who wants to marry you is now living in a silent storm of their own creation, a storm that began the moment they realized their feelings for you were no longer under their control. They entered your life with a motive shaped by scarcity, by fear, by the belief that they needed someone powerful to stand beside in order to survive the world ahead. But loving you changed everything, and now they are tangled between the version of themselves they pretended to be and the version your presence is forcing them to confront. Every time they look at you, they feel exposed. Every time you speak with kindness, they feel their old intentions slipping away. And every time you show them trust, their guilt tightens around their heart like an invisible hand reminding them that love built on a hidden agenda can only stand for so long before destiny demands truth. Stay with me as I take you even closer into their mind, because this part of the story reveals what they have never spoken to anyone, not friends, not family, not even themselves in full honesty. They once believed they could carry this secret forever, that they could love you and still quietly benefit from the life you built through your own struggle and strength. But then something changed. You began awakening parts of their soul that had been asleep for years. They started seeing you not as a path, but as a person. Not as a solution, but as a miracle. Not as a convenience, but as a blessing. And this shift terrified them so deeply that they began avoiding their own thoughts. They started deleting messages, hiding tears, rehearsing explanations they might one day need to give. They fear you will look into their eyes and see everything, the love, the fear, the calculation, the regret, because your gaze is one of the few truths they cannot lie to. And yet, despite this internal chaos, something even more intense is unfolding behind the scenes. People around them have noticed their change. Someone close to them has sensed the conflict, the dual motive, the unspoken plan, and this person is beginning to question them in ways that make them uncomfortable. They did not expect anyone to notice the shift, but the energy around them has become so unstable that even those with limited insight can feel something is wrong. When your name is mentioned, they freeze for a split second. When the topic of marriage surfaces, their heartbeat accelerates. When someone asks whether they are ready for such a commitment, they feel their chest tighten because yes, they want you, but they fear the truth will collapse everything they are trying to build. And destiny, with its perfect timing, has begun removing their hiding places one by one, pushing them toward a confession they are not ready to make. But here is where the story sharpens. This person is starting to fear that if they don't tell you the truth soon, fate itself will reveal it for them. They feel as if the universe is watching, waiting, evaluating their next move. They have never been this close to someone who carries the kind of light you carry, someone whose presence naturally exposes dishonesty. You are the kind of soul who forces people to face themselves, whether they want to or not. They came into your life thinking they could remain hidden, but your energy has been stripping away their layers like burning paper. They thought they could blend their love with their motive, but the purity of your spirit does not allow mixed intentions to remain hidden for long. Each day that passes, the weight of their silence grows heavier, and the fear of losing you grows sharper. They know you deserve someone who loves you without taking from you. They know your kindness is not something to be used. They know your future is not a playground for their advantage. And for the first time, they are beginning to ask themselves whether they can become someone worthy of the home they want to build with you. And now destiny shifts again, placing the next step directly between your intuition and their hesitation. The energy around them is unstable, full of trembling tension, because the decision they make in the days ahead will shape not only the connection between you but the entire arc of their life. They are standing in a moment where the truth is rising like light breaking through a locked door, and they no longer have the strength to push it back. Their heart wants you, their plans need you, but their soul is demanding honesty before anything sacred can move forward. And whether they confess, whether they change, whether they try to continue the silence, everything is now aligning toward one inevitable event. The revelation. The truth will come out, one way or another, and when it does, the universe will ensure you stand protected, empowered, and ready for whatever their heart decides next. My beloved child, the moment we enter now is the moment where the universe stops whispering and starts speaking loudly through every sign, every shift, every instinct that tugs at your spirit. The person who wants to marry you is standing closer to a breaking point than they have ever been in their entire life. They know their silence cannot hold forever, and every hour that passes feels like a countdown pressing against their conscience. Their love for you is growing uncontrollably, but so is the fear that you will one day see the motive they tried to bury beneath affection. This duality inside them has reached a level where even their closest relationships feel the tension. They avoid certain conversations. They change subjects too quickly. Their laughter feels forced on days when their guilt swallows their voice. And whether they admit it or not, they are terrified that destiny will reveal their secret before they gather the courage to speak it themselves. That tension is why you feel something shifting around them, because what they hide does not disappear, it vibrates in the energy they carry. Stay with me, stay exactly here, because you must hear what is unfolding next. Someone around them has begun connecting pieces they never wanted anyone to connect. Not out of betrayal, but out of intuition. A friend, a sibling, a colleague, someone who has observed their behavior closely, has noticed the strange mix of devotion and calculation in their actions, and this person is starting to realize that there is more beneath their intentions than they originally claimed. This observer may not know the entire truth, but they feel that something is off, something doesn't align, something is being hidden behind soft smiles and romantic promises. And this pressure, this unexpected attention, is pushing your person into a corner where their next step must be chosen carefully. They know that if others begin questioning them, soon you will too. That is why their eyes shift whenever the future is mentioned. That is why their voice softens when you talk about long-term plans. They are scared, not because they want to hurt you, but because they never imagined loving you this deeply while holding a secret that could break you. Before I take you deeper, stay with me, do not move away, do not scroll, do not lose focus, because what you hear now matters. Your presence in their life has forced them to face themselves in a way they have never faced anyone before. You are a mirror that reflects their truth, not their mask. They cannot hide from your energy, because your energy sees through walls others cannot. That is why they behave differently around you compared to anyone else. They are softer, more vulnerable, more unsettled, more human. They are afraid of losing you because they know that losing you means losing the only person who ever saw their potential instead of their flaws. But at the same time, the old part of them, the part built on survival, ambition, and quiet calculation, still clings to the belief that if they marry you quickly enough, if they secure their place in your life before the truth surfaces, they can hold on to everything they desire. And this conflict is not just emotional anymore. It is spiritual, psychological, karmic. The universe is demanding clarity, and their soul is running out of places to hide. Stay with me, because this part is where everything becomes real. They are beginning to feel watched by fate itself. They sense that one wrong decision could cost them everything. Their dreams have changed. Their thoughts have changed. Their heartbeat changes when your name appears on their screen. They rehearse words in their mind before speaking to you. They check their tone, their expression, their intentions. They feel the weight of your trust more than ever. And this weight is cracking open the truth they tried to bury. They want to confess, but fear stops them. They want to protect you, but their own past intentions haunt them. They want to move into your life with purity, but purity demands honesty, and honesty demands courage. They are not prepared for the moment where they reveal that they came to you with a motive, even if that motive has been shattered by the love they unexpectedly developed. Every night they wonder what you will say if you ever hear the full truth. Will you walk away? Will you forgive them? Will you see their love as real, or tainted? This uncertainty is eating at them more than any secret they have ever held. And now, before destiny brings the next shift, allow me to place this moment clearly in your path. The universe is preparing a revelation that will test both hearts. This revelation will not destroy you, it will protect you. It will not weaken you, it will strengthen your insight. It will not break your spirit, it will awaken your power. But your person, they feel the storm already. They feel the tightening, the truth rising, the walls closing in. In the days ahead, they will either step toward honesty or fall into desperation trying to hold on to you without revealing what they came for. And this choice will determine everything: the connection, the future, the trust, the foundation. What happens next will change the entire shape of your story, and you must walk into it with awareness, strength, and the clarity that your soul has been preparing for long before this moment arrived. My beloved child, as we move into this next layer, the truth begins to sharpen with a clarity that cannot be softened or ignored. The person who wants to marry you is now standing at the exact edge where their past intentions collide with the love they unexpectedly developed for you, and this collision is shaking their entire identity. They thought they could keep their motives hidden forever, thought they could mask their ambition inside romance, thought they could hold your hand without revealing what they came into your life to take, but destiny has cornered them with precision. Their heart is betraying their old plan, their conscience is rising like fire, and the fear that you might see everything they tried to conceal is now louder than the heartbeat they once kept steady around you. They know the truth is approaching, and that realization is pushing them into emotional chaos they can no longer mask behind charm. Stay with me, because this moment is where the story begins to unfold in ways they never expected. Their original desire. The one tied to your foundation, your future, your stability, still lingers in the background like an echo of the person they were before they met you. But the love they developed for you is not an echo, it is a storm, a force, a transformation. It is the one thing they never accounted for when they stepped into your world. They wanted your life, your wealth of blessings, your structure, but now they want you, your presence, your voice, your heart, your spirit. And this dual desire is tearing them apart because they know that the love they feel is real, but the intention they carried is not. Each day they wake with the same question burning through their thoughts: will you stay if you know the whole truth, or will you walk away the moment you see the part of them they tried so hard to bury? But listen carefully, because the universe has shifted the energy around them in a way they can no longer ignore. There is someone close to them. A person who quietly observes, absorbs, understands, who has begun noticing the cracks in their behavior. This observer sees the hesitation when your name comes up. They see the fear hidden inside their excitement. They see the conflict they cannot voice. And though they may not know the entire truth, they feel the weight of what is being hidden, and this pressure is slowly exposing the tension your person has been running from. They are afraid this observer will speak, afraid the truth will leak into conversations they cannot control, afraid you will hear fragments that will force them to confess before they are ready. They have never felt this vulnerable, this exposed, this unsteady, and it shows in the way their actions shift without warning. Stay with me here, because this moment determines the path of your entire connection. Their silence is becoming heavier, and the guilt is beginning to color every word they speak to you. They overcompensate with affection on some days, and on others, they withdraw as though hiding from your intuition. They are terrified that you will look at them one day and see not only the love in their eyes but also the motive behind it. And yet, what they do not realize is that your spirit has already sensed something deeper than words. You have felt the pull, the tension, the imbalance. You have felt the truth trying to reach you through moments you couldn't explain. You were never blind, you were patient. Never naive, you were observant. Never weak, you were compassionate. And now the universe is preparing you for the moment their truth finally breaks open. As this chapter closes, destiny makes one thing clear: the revelation cannot be delayed much longer. Their soul is running out of breath trying to hold both love and secrecy in the same space. Their future with you depends entirely on what they choose next: honesty or illusion, courage or fear, transformation or collapse. And while they stand trembling in the space between who they were and who they want to become, The universe stands beside you, guiding you, preparing you, strengthening your vision so that when the truth arrives, you will not fall, you will rise.